Okay, just checking to see if everyone can hear me. Ms. Reifenberg, if you'll unmute your microphone and just let me know if you can hear me.
I can hear you, Your Honor.
I can hear you.
I can hear everyone as well. Good. Okay, just wanted to double check that. And let me just check in with our court clerk. Greg, if you're there, which case should I call first?
I call the Carla Torres case.
All right, let's go ahead and call Carla Torres. Ms. Torres, if you'll unmute your microphone and enable your video.
Yes, I am here. I am
Yes.
present. I'm currently at work, and
Okay.
I work in a retail space, and I do have a customer with me. He's patient enough for me to take this, but if there is someone else who happens to be ready, that'd be great.
All right, let's do that. We'll call another case.
Thank you so much.
And then we'll just pop on your video when you are in a position where you can actually be called and not have an interruption or interrupting you.
I've got you. I'm multitasking here because I work in a kind of school situation where there's that level of patience. So I hear you guys. If I could just have a couple more minutes to take care of this. I tried calling this morning to reschedule this and I wasn't able to. So I'm trying to hop on I'm doing what I can. Okay.
And we may be able to reschedule. So we'll call another case.
Sounds good. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm. And then I can see that we have Evan Joseph. Mr. Joseph, if you'll unmute your microphone and enable your video.
Hello. Can you see me?
I can see you and I can hear you. Good
Okay,
afternoon to you,
awesome.
sir.
Good afternoon to you, Your Honor.
Okay, let me just take a quick look. Go ahead. You had something you wanted to say?
Oh, am I up, or is that?
Yes, ready to call your case.
Okay, all right. Well, I also tried to reschedule, but they told me to just ask you. I have a Alive in 25 class on the 8th, and if I need a little bit more time to get that class and get the certificate, and then bring it in.
And yes, we can grant you that additional time.
Okay.
So you have the class on the 8th, so we'll reschedule you for about a week later just to give them enough time. It takes a little while for them to process after the class is completed. So we're going to schedule you for at least sometime probably after the 15th of August and maybe even a little further beyond there.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
To that effect for our staff. And they'll just reach out to you by email later on this afternoon with the new date.
Okay.
I'll just ask you to kind of keep an eye on your computer, your email, to see if you get that email. If you do, then you can come back in. You can still come by Zoom video at your next court date, so I'll authorize that. If you don't, for some reason, get anything from us in the next couple of hours, then reach back out to us to make sure that there wasn't a communication issue.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
All right, but you are free to leave the meeting, Mr. Joseph, and just look for that new court date.
Okay, thank you so much, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Go off camera for just a moment. I'll take a look at Ms. Torres's case.
It's Miss Torres. I'm not sure if you had called me or not.
No, we hadn't called you Ms. Torres, but we can. If you're ready to speak, we can address your case.
I am. I'm very much apologize about that. I appreciate your patience.
You're welcome. Okay, let's go ahead. I just briefly looked at your case. It looks like we were expecting for you to complete a class.
Yes.
So have you had that class yet?
No, if I don't mean to sound like I'm so all over the place right now. But if you can give me a minute or two to just explain that, I very much had intentions to finish the class. I had 6 to 8 weeks to do the class, and at the time, I'm a single mom of 2 kids. I rarely get any time to myself, and I had a trip planned to Florida to visit family in about 5 weeks from that court date that I last saw you. And so I planned, I'm going to do that test when I'm in Florida. I can have someone watch my kids and sit on my computer and get it done. Florida trip ended up being not as planned. There was an emergency that happened, and I just got home recently. I had been meaning to call the court and ask for an extension, and time slipped away from me. And before I knew it, I had this court date planned or set. So I would basically like to ask if it's possible to get an extension. I very much intended on finishing that class. Things got so out of hand on that trip. I drove from Florida to Colorado with my kids, and I just really lost track of time.
Okay.
If I can have an extension, I very much would take advantage of it. If not, I understand.
No, we'll give you more time.
Thank
It's
you.
not as problematic as it might appear. So we're happy to give you a little bit more time.
Thank you so much.
All right. So I'm going to let you leave this meeting. We're going to send an email to you in the next couple of hours, and you'll get a date to select to come back. You can come back by Zoom video.
Okay.
Same expectation. We'll set it about 4 to 6 weeks out. Give you just a little bit more time to get your feet on the ground, get the class done. And then when you come back, as long as we have the certificate in the file, then we can go forward with accepting your plea to that 0-point charge.
Thank you so much. That's
You're welcome.
I needed.
All right. So you can leave the meeting, look for that email. If you don't hear from us by email, check your spam. If you don't see the email, then give us a call and we'll make sure that we get you set.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Torres.
Thank you, Judge.
Hang in there.
Bye.
Bye.
And nobody waiting, Your Honor.
Okay. Thanks, Greg. I'll go off camera and I don't know if we have anybody that's coming in the courtroom for a docket, but I can always come in there too.
All right, I'll let you know.
Sounds good. And are you Mr. Daskier?
Yes.
Why don't you come on forward, sir? Give me a moment to get the computer up and we'll call your case a little early. It may take a moment for me to get the Zoom video recording, which is required by state law. So let me get that moving. I had to rejoin this, Greg, because I had to leave it earlier to do the jail court from here.
Recording in progress.
That's mine because I had to turn my volume on for the other one. Get that turned down. Okay, Mr. Dasker, I do see that you completed the 11-25 class. We've got the certificate in the file for that. There was an offer from the prosecutor, if you'll recall, to reduce the original 6-point speeding charge to a 2-point charge if you completed that class. Are you ready to accept that offer and plead guilty to that reduced charge?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, let me go ahead and accept the plea. It is to a 2-point charge. It'll be called driving a defective vehicle. This allegedly occurred on April 28th of 2025 at US 36 and Table Mesa Drive. How do you plead to that 2-point charge?
Guilty.
I'll accept the guilty plea. Take a look at the officer's notes here. Nothing aggravating in those notes. I'll take also a look at your driving record. And it looks like a clear record coming in. So those are positive factors. Anything else that you'd like me to consider before I set your fine?
That day, I was picking up my grandfather's medication from my class,
Okay,
and I was running late for my class.
okay.
I was picking up my grandfather's medication, 86 years old.
I'm glad you were helping him, but that's always adding something onto your plate, I'm sure is challenging. Good record coming in, nothing aggravating the circumstances of the case. And you did spend some money on the Alive at 25 class. I hope they were able to show you some of the evidence that I've seen about how speeding doesn't really help you as much as you think it will, but that's the one thing that helped me to say, it's not really worth it. There's no real reward for the risk that you take. But because of all of the circumstances, good record, spending that money, normally my fines are $150. I'm going to set my fine at $90, and then there's $30 in court costs. So you have $120 to pay the court, and then you'll have everything will be wrapped up if you can pay that today.
Yeah.
Are you able to do that?
Yes.
All right, I'll send you right out front. Our clerks to the right will collect the payment and get you on your way.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
You too.
And sir, what's your name?
Phyllis Michelson, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Michelson, why don't you come on forward? And you were here in front of me on July 27th. The notes that I have is at that time you'd been advised of your rights and the charges pending. We set it out 2 to 3 weeks for today's date for you to determine how to go forward. You had the option of pleading not guilty and setting the case for trial. I'm looking to see if there's an offer in the
I had a plea offer with see restorative justice as far as I'm aware.
Yes, you do. And I'm going to pull that up right now. It was a deferred judgment and sentence offer that was made. It's for a 9-month period. You'd be expected to plead guilty to the 2 charges, which was trespassing and 3rd-degree assault. But if you pled guilty to those charges, the case would stay open for 9 months. A conviction would not enter. You would be expected to complete the CU Restorative Justice Program, the CU Community Living class, you'd have a substance use screen and be required to complete whatever substance use program was determined as a result of that screen, and then 8 hours of community service.
What's the substance use program entail?
Well, it depends. Depends on what our probation officer is the one that ultimately slots you into the program that she thinks is appropriate. So you'd fill out an audit. I don't know if you've done that yet.
I've never done.
So you do that with her today. If you decide to accept this disposition, she'd have you, she'd basically interview you and have you complete this screen and then determine what level of programming to have you be involved with. I haven't looked at the police report, so I don't make that determination. I let our probation officer make that determination, but you would be required to complete it. Sometimes it depends on the type of circumstance that was there, whether it's alcohol or marijuana or some other substance. And it often is because it's with CU students, we have programs that are actually offered through health promotions on campus. Sometimes it's a 2 sessions, sometimes it's 4 sessions. It depends on what the evaluation comes up with. In rare circumstances, it's something greater than that. It's not typically greater than that, but I don't want to make commitments that I can't keep because I don't know enough about the case that's here. But that's what you'd be agreeing to, is to have that evaluation done by our probation officer, and then she would make that recommendation. So you'd have all those things to complete, which is a lot. But the good side of that is if you go through that next 9 months without any other criminal charges, and you satisfy all of those conditions in addition to paying the fees that are associated with it, which will be a total of $190 in fees to the court. $165 go to us, $25 you'll actually pay directly to the folks on campus, which is formerly known as the Volunteer Resource Center. It's now SLICE on campus, but that agency oversees community service. They'll charge you a fee associated with that. So you've got fees to the courts and to those folks. Some expense associated with the community living class, and then with the substance use class, you may have a cost associated with that. At the end of the 9 months, if you've satisfied all of the conditions, your case would be dismissed, your record would be sealed. So that's the advantage of the charges ultimately get dismissed or dropped, if in the more familiar term, yeah.
And then so would I be on probation with that as well?
It's not probation, but we are monitoring your case. So you wouldn't be placed on probation because you haven't been convicted of a crime. Probation is after you've been convicted of a crime. We don't enter a conviction. So you're on a deferred judgment, but it's very similar in that our probation officer is the one that reviews and makes sure that you comply with all of the terms.
Right, okay.
So that's the option for you from the prosecutor's office. Have you decided whether you'd like to accept or not?
Yeah, I think I'd like to go forward with that.
Okay. Want to make sure you're comfortable doing that because you also have the option of consulting with an attorney. If you wanted to hire an attorney at a very low cost, you could contact an attorney through the university. They have part of your student fees, pay for them to provide counsel, and they charge a small fee for people to have counsel. So that's an option for you. If you didn't think you could even afford that, you could apply for the public defender to represent you. So a couple of different ways to proceed if you wanted to have counsel. You're not required to, but I want to make sure.
If I wanted to have counsel, would I still be able to go forward with the plea?
You could. We wouldn't do it today.
Right.
If you wanted to have an attorney kind of give you some advice before you made a decision, we would reset you to come back.
Okay. Yeah, and that deal stays open on the table.
Yeah, I've never seen our prosecutors say, hey, I'm no longer offering that because someone wanted to exercise their right to see an attorney.
Yeah, I'd like to seek legal counsel on that then, because I was waiting for the police report, and the police report got delivered a little bit later than expected.
Okay. That's perfectly fine then. We'll give you another court date, but you now have a copy of the police report?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's give you a court date that's about 3 weeks out. I would encourage you to get going right away. If you're going to go over to the university to
I
students.
spoke with them, and they told me all the information and materials I need before I go forward and speak with them, and now I have everything.
Okay, and was that Student Legal Services?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So and that was probably Mr. Sharman then?
Probably, I can't
Oh.
recall.
Okay. So yeah, we're going to reschedule you then, and we'll do that about 3 weeks out. Same kind of court date as today. We'll just give you another court date to come back. What I would encourage you to do is call Student Legal Services right away, tell them what date we've given to you,
Yep.
and stay in communication with them because that may not work on their calendar. If they're in another court, for example, then they can't come to this one. So tell them right away. and get yourself signed up with them so that they can have a meeting with you, and then they can advise you as to whether to accept the agreement. And if they need to change the date that we set up for you, they can change that date.
I can set that date here, Your Honor.
That'd be great. Thanks, Greg.
How does Monday, August 25th, 8:30 or 9 o'clock work for you, sir?
I think that should be good.
Which one?
Monday, 8:30 or 9 o'clock?
Sir?
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock. Okay.
Do you have your schedule yet? When do you guys start? I know you start school up that week.
I
So
can't recall if it's August 22nd or 25th. It's right around there.
my memory is that the move-in is through the.
I can look quick.
Why don't you, just to make sure you know what you're going to be? You know, I hate to have you start out missing class. Do you have a schedule yet?
The date starts the same for everyone, so.
There's the-
Okay, yeah, semester starts August 26th, so, oh wait, that's 2020, hang on, that was through last year's.
Yeah, my memory's earlier than that this year, but I'm not sure.
Your Honor, are you looking for the first day of classes?
Yes.
The CU website indicates that the fall 2025 classes start, the first day is August 21st,
Okay.
with move-in August 15th through 19th.
That's what I recall.
Okay, yeah, that's the correct, so,
Sorry, I just easily had it.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Reifenberg.
yeah, so 25th should work.
It will work?
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll leave that for you. Greg's going to give you that court date, a setting notice, have you sign that, and then we'll see you back on that court date.
Sweet, thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Have a good afternoon.
You too.
THMI Please rise.
You can be seated. Thank you. We are back on the record.
Call the Goldstein case, please.
Thank you,
We're
Greg.
waiting for Ms. Dolan.
Let's go ahead and call Nadav Goldstein. Good morning, Mr. Goldstein. Or morning, afternoon, I'm sorry.
Afternoon.
Okay, I'm looking at the offer that was made by the prosecutors in your case, which was to reduce the original charge to a 2-point charge if you completed the Alive at 25 class. Have you completed the class?
Yes, I have that confirmation.
Okay, why don't you provide that to Mr. Ogden and he can tell me what we've got there.
There's a completion certificate for Live 25 for Mr. Goldstein.
Okay, great, thank you. So he's going to upload that into our system. He'll give you back the original.
Okay.
And then, Mr. Goldstein, this does make you eligible for the 2-point plea bargain, which means that you could plead guilty to that charge. The 6-point charge would be dismissed. Is that what you'd like to do?
Yes.
All right, let me accept the plea. It is to the charge of driving with a defective vehicle. That's what makes it a 2-point charge. That's a violation of section 732 of the Boulder Revised Code occurring March 13th of 2025 at US 36 and Baseline Road. How do you plead to that charge, sir?
Guilty.
I'll accept the guilty plea. Nothing aggravating in the notes from the officer. Take a look at your driving record before I set the fine. Anything else that you'd like me to know?
No.
Good record coming in, so those are all positive factors. Our record here is going to reflect that we've dismissed the 6-point charge, and you've pled guilty to the 2-point charge. Normally, my fine is $150 and there are $30 in court costs. I'm going to make the fine in this case $100. There are $30 in court costs, so you have $130 to pay. Are you able to pay that today?
Yes.
All right, I'll send you right out front. Our clerk will collect the payment and then get you on your way.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And right to the right when you're leaving here.
Perfect.
We also have the Smiley case.
Are you Mr. Smiley? All right, Mr. Smiley, why don't you come on forward?
His representation should be Dolan.
All right.
Not here yet.
Not here yet. So it's only just a few minutes after 2:15. So we'll obviously wait. I just wanted to get you called up to let you know where things stand, but we're waiting for Ms. Dolan to appear. So she's very good about her court date. So I would expect that we'll see her in a moment or two. But if we don't, we'll reach out by email to see if there's some reason why she hasn't appeared. Looking at the emails here just to make sure she was put on notice of the court date. I'm sure she was. Yep. So we emailed that to her back in mid-July. So she should know. So just be patient. And as soon as Ms. Dolan gets here, we'll contact you. If we don't hear from her in the next 5 minutes or so, Greg will send an email to her or a text and see what's going on. And of course, if you have any contact with her, let her know that you're here.
Your Honor, I think if she doesn't show up, we could probably proceed, if you're okay with that.
I can be, especially if I have an adult here to make the circumstances. But I do want to try to get her involved because it does put the court in a position of having a conversation with someone who's represented by counsel, and legally I'm not supposed to do that. So I try to honor that responsibility, but also know that I don't want to inconvenience people unnecessarily. So it's a traffic case. We might be able to get this resolved either way. So we'll see what's going on, and then give us about 5 minutes from now, and then Greg will try to reach out to her. And if you have contact information for her, you could text her.
Your Honor, can I use the time to email the court the level 2 driving course that Charles took?
Yes, please. I'm glad you thought of that because I was going to look at the plea offer. It does show the expectation that he was going to complete the level 2 class. So you can either email or you can give it to Greg. He can just scan it in. If you've got it on your computer, you can just email it to Greg and he can upload it.
Okay, that would be great. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Okay, and then you guys can have a seat. We'll just go off camera for a moment and off the record until we hear
Sir,
from Ms.
Can
Stone.
I get your email address?
Right.
Okay. And I forgot my reader, so I'm not being disrespectful. These are bifocals.
That's fine. And let's go ahead and call the case for Mr. Smiley. We've got Ms. Dolan here. Can be back on the record. Good afternoon, Ms. Dolan. Good afternoon again, Mr. Smiley. And Mr. Smiley's dad's here in the courtroom. We did get, I believe, I'm going to refresh, but I think we do have proof that the defendant completed the level 2 class. And I can see that in our system, so that's great. And I'm going to take a quick look at the plea offer that was made. I think it was contingent on the completing the level 2 class. And now there's an offer to reduce the 4-point charge to a 0-point charge.
That's correct. And the proof of completion was previously sent to the prosecutor.
Oh, good. So they have it as well.
They have it.
Great. Okay, so that makes it pretty simple. Any further advisement necessary in this case, Ms. Dolan?
No.
All right, let me go ahead and accept the plea. Then it is to a 0-point charge that you'll be pleading guilty to, Mr. Smiley. That'll be called failing to wear a seatbelt. That's not what you did in this case allegedly, but it's how you get the reduction in the points. That's a violation of section 7232 of the Boulder Revised Code, and this allegedly occurred on May 16th of 2025 at Lincoln Place and Baseline Road. How does the defendant plead to that 0-point charge?
Guilty.
I'll accept that guilty plea. Any comment from you, Ms. Dolan, or from the defendant before I impose the fine?
Nothing additional.
Okay. Looking at the back of the ticket to see what the interaction was with the officer, any notes that might be there. Nothing aggravating. I'll also look at defendant's prior history. Come up with the name. Okay. One prior ticket was out of the county court in 2024. So it's not an aggravated circumstance, but it's your second ticket. So it's something I'm glad you took the class. Hopefully you learned something from that level 2 class. And I know there's an expense associated with the class, so I'm taking that into account in setting the fine. So our record here will reflect that you pled guilty to the 0-point charge. That won't be sent to DMV. I'm going to set the fine at $90. There are $30 in court costs. So we'll leave you with a total of $120 to pay. Are you able to pay that today?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll have you pay that today and that'll close the case up. Any questions for me?
No.
Dad, any questions?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you all for appearing. We'll send you right out front. They'll be with you shortly.
And I just realized that this was a 2:15. I was thinking it was 2:30. I'm so sorry.
That's okay, Ms. Dolan. I was surprised when I didn't see you at 2:15 because usually you're very timely in your court appearances, but I'm glad you were here, so.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, take care.
Thank you.
Okay.
So we have Mr. Hall, who did not appear. I sent him a couple of text messages. He did check in momentarily, but before I had a chance to actually admit him, he disappeared.
That was weird because I thought I saw it. I was like, yeah, okay. Well,
We'll send him an FTA text.
yeah, and then he'll probably respond, and if not, he'll go through overdue, but,
Okay,
okay. And is that the last of the 215s?
that's it.
Okay.
And then, do you have anything? We don't have anything later.
No, I think that's it. Yep, that's all.